Hey you guys, it's me Gemstone from www.tarotforhealing.com. I hope you guys are doing really well. This is your monthly astrological reading for the month of April. This video is for the Geminis. Now let's see what is coming through for you guys. Now I'm going to be starting off with your finances cards, then moving on to your romance cards for those of you that are in relationships and single, and then I'm going to be pulling two chakra wisdom oracle card decks for your spiritual cards, and the deck I'm going to be using for your reading is the New Age Tarot, which I was gifted yesterday, and I've been really enjoying it, so I decided to use these cards for you guys reading this month. So for your work is the Hierophant with the Seven of Pentacles. Now the Hierophant could represent you. It could be about your commitment to the work that you do, your commitment to making something come off the ground, like your commitment to developing something that you've been working on, something that needs to be really take your time and your effort. But again, it's almost like when you're at the beginning stages, and it's like you're planting the foundation for something else to develop and to grow as a result. And so the Hierophant is your commitment to doing that. The Hierophant can also represent a boss, someone that's in a higher position of power to you that you might be working under as well. And this person, I feel, might be really influential to you in terms of the work that you do. So I feel like they also could be representing mentor for some of you guys, or maybe even like some kind of life coach or business coach, like someone, because the Hierophant can have a spiritual aspect obviously to the card when it shows up, but sometimes it can just be a person that is in a position of authority as well, because the Hierophant can also represent institutions, social institutions as well, in society, stuff like that. So again, I feel like this person is influential to you. It could be somebody that you can learn a lot of things from, and that might be good, because where the Seven of Pentacles is saying that you might be starting something up for yourself, you might be learning from this other person. This other person might have already gone through the whole process, and then they can come back and tell you, yeah, this is what you should do, and you can do this and you can do that. So I feel like there's going to be somebody, if they're not in your life already, somebody's going to come through in April and really make a significant change in your life in terms of how they're able to guide you and assist you when it comes to your plans, whether it's a business situation, whether it's just something that you inspire to do, even if it is a career that you're going into. It's like you have somebody that is going to be there giving you the guidance that you need for you to just start the building blocks of what it is that you want to develop and you want to grow throughout maybe the rest of the year. But it all seems to be sort of starting off in April, so I really like those cards for you guys. When it comes to those of you that are in relationships, you have the Four of Swords with the Page of Pentacles. Interesting card. I'm kind of laughing at this card because it's so different. I've never seen anything like it. It's like betting office. So they're gambling in the Page of Pentacles. I've never seen such an interpretation, but it's funny and I like it. I have to read up more about like why this card is like that. It's very interesting. So the Four of Swords to me is like, it could be saying that you and your partner could do with some kind of retreat, something where the two of you maybe can relax, maybe have a break, that kind of thing. It could even represent a break being, together, going somewhere, or even a break maybe even having a distance between the two of you. It depends what is necessary, what is needed. But when I mean a break, it's not saying that there's going to be some split and you go in your separate directions. It's more just having a time of just time for yourself kind of thing. To me, that's whenever I see the Four of Swords, that's kind of what it represents. It's like a time for self, or a time of just sort of not being so busy and out there, but just kind of calming things down. Like it just seems necessary to just calm things down, kind of for things to sort of relax itself, and then then you can get back into things later on. So again, it can represent retreating away as a couple, maybe needing to get away, just be by yourselves, or it could be, maybe just between the two of you, there's some kind of retreat where you have to go away from your partner for a time. And it may not be that you're forced. It could even be a situation where maybe you're just feeling like, you know what, I could do with some time by myself, or just to get my thoughts together, or maybe just for your physical body, like your well-being. Like you might decide, oh, maybe I should actually go on a real retreat where I'm around other people, maybe doing some kind of spiritual retreat or something like that. And maybe this is just something I need to do for myself, and maybe my partner will be, at home and doing their regular things while I'm away at this retreat or something like that. It could be that way too. But either way, it's not a negative thing. It's just sort of, needed time for yourself. And where the Page of Pentacles shows up, is saying that again. It's almost like when I look at these cards, it's saying that a time away can actually help strengthen the relationship. Like there is still stability between you guys. It's not like you have to worry if there is a situation where you have to retreat away. It's like things are going to be okay regardless. So there doesn't have to be any worry or anything there. I'm not really feeling like the message is connected with the way this card is looking, like that betting office thing. That's just so weird. I don't get why it's like that. That is interesting interpretation. But what I'm kind of seeing is again like the and it even could be a case of maybe even in retreating away there's a new sense of stability in your relationship. So it could mean a case of, like they say, absence can make the heart grow fonder. So you might separate for a time, come back together, and then things become even better for you guys, because maybe you had the much needed time for yourselves. um or it could even be a case of maybe the two of you go together to some kind of retreat or something that actually improves your relationship in some kind of way and builds it up that way. But I do see that it's almost like a time that is necessary for yourselves as individuals, can actually benefit your relationship and might even strengthen the two of you's relationship. So, which is a good message, because I think people tend to think that in order for you to have a strong relationship, like you always have to be constantly with your partner, like together, and that's just not the case at all. Like, I think, especially like even if you get into a relationship, you have to remember that you are both still individuals, and you have to spend the time to sort of develop yourself as well as working on developing the relationship together. Like that's a really important thing that I think sometimes can kind of be overshadowed. So yeah. Now these cards are for those of you that are single, because we did the relationship one. So those of you that are single, you have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, and you have the Two of Swords. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune reverse is kind of telling me that this is not the time to take a risk or take a gamble. Like it's not the time to like they were saying, like we had the betting office showing up here. It's like this ain't the time to bet or to gamble or to put yourself out there like that. So it might be saying don't rush into anything this month when it comes to a relationship. The general message as well, it actually could be saying, just for all of you Geminis at large, it actually might be saying that this isn't a time to take risks in general. So it might be saying, don't gamble because you could lose. Don't because I'm just finding it interesting that that betting card came up and the Wheel of Fortune came up, because the Wheel of Fortune can represent gambling, and it's reversed, so it's saying you will lose. Like it's not going to work in your favor if you decide to do this. So if any opportunities for gambling or anything takes place, just be like, no, I'm not going. Or gamble small so that at least the loss isn't that bad. So yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. But then if we sort of bring the message back down to those of you that are single, this could be saying just don't rush into anything when it comes to a relationship, or don't take a chance on somebody where things might be a bit things might have been on shaky ground to begin with. It's like saying be careful about just rushing in there and just taking a chance on something that isn't really either a sure thing, or look that doesn't look good to begin with, like that kind of situation. And with the two of swords, again, it's saying there's choices and decisions that you have to make, and it's saying that, again, you shouldn't rush. It's about you taking your time and thinking things through. So again, don't jump into something without thinking things through first. And so if somebody, again, turns up into your life, if it's a situation where someone comes in, whatever, take your time, think things through, sit with things, don't rush. Yeah. Because again, it might be saying don't rush, because if you rush, you may lose. It might not be the situation that you thought it was going to be. It might appear to be something quite different when you actually get into it. So you actually got two cards that connects with the throat chakra, and this one is isolation, and then this one is expansion. Very interesting how this lady on this card has the world in her stomach. She's pregnant. She reminds me of the Empress. So it's saying, even on a spiritual level, you're birthing something new, Gemini. The same way for some of you guys, in terms of your work, you're birthing something new. It's saying within yourself, on a spiritual level, you're also birthing something new. And that's a beautiful thing. And you're going to be expanding. So this is talking about your own soul's evolution. So that's why you're creating something new. Something new is taking place within you, and you're giving birth to it. So you're going through this process that is almost like a baptism. And it doesn't have to be that you're physically getting baptized. To me, baptism is a time where you transform. It's like there's a shedding of the old self. And I feel like that's what you're going to be going through on a spiritual level, because it's your time to experience that. So that might be why you might be a bit isolated. You might be spending a little bit less time around other people, a little bit more time on your own. This might just be a time where you just have to kind of just kind of go within a bit more. I think it's so interesting how on the bottom here it says invitation. So it almost might be like that for you. Maybe you might even be invited places and you decide to be like, oh no, I don't really feel like I want to go. Stuff like that. Like, you just might not be in the mood to really go out places. And I feel like, you know what, it might be that you get invited to go out places, but these might be people that you've kind of outgrown. You might not even have anything in common with these people anymore. Because the interesting thing is, this card is isolation and it doesn't have no one in the card, whereas this card has quite a few people in it, and it says expansion. So you might have actually outgrown some friends or some people that used to be in your circle. And this might all be, your growth might have to do with you maturing. It might have to do with you again going through this spiritual process of enlightenment, where now you're a new person, you have a new self, and certain things just don't resonate with you anymore. So then you might just find that, again, you might not hang around with certain people so much anymore. And but this is an important time for you, and because these are throat chakra cards, it could be saying that maybe that's why you might not be maybe associating with certain people as much, because again, maybe you guys have conversations and you just don't have as much in common anymore. Maybe you're like talking to people about, I don't know, about spiritual things and about this process that you've been through, or how you feel different within yourself, or new interests that you have. And then this other person might be talking about old stuff that you guys used to talk about, that to you isn't of importance anymore. Because again, sometimes when we mature, we kind of forget and think that everybody else has matured around us, and sometimes that's not the case. We go through different processes at different stages of our lives, and even then we have different belief systems and different ways of thinking. And so it could mean that you're going through a process where you're changing, but it doesn't mean that your surroundings have changed. But I feel that what you're going through is really important for you to go through, and it's going to be really beneficial to you. So if there's people that don't quite understand it, just know that that's how people are going to be. Not everyone is going to understand that when you change. I definitely can say that for myself, that there's definitely been changes that I've made throughout my life, and you're not always going to take everybody with you through the different processes you go through. Some people will stay. The people that I think are truly close to you, that love you, that accept you regardless, will stay. But other people, they won't, and that would just be the reality of things. And either way, whether they stay or whether they go, either way is beneficial to you. So I'll see you. Bye.